Hockey Nation fans, welcome to the Hockey Nation live show with Coach Frenchy directly in the booth and Michael Devellano from the West Coast, California. Monday morning, it's 8 a.m. on the West Coast. How you doing, Michael?
I'm good. It was another exciting game the other night, and we learned a lot, I think.
How was your weekend?
I don't remember. Probably good.
Ready? Sound good. We are right now on the tropical storm again in Florida, so it's a rain day so far. Um, little bit storm and lightnings, everything like that. But we're going to go through this, and we have a big show today. We are going to go through the game for tonight at 8 p.m. between the Lightning and the Dallas. Game number two. We're going to go through this. I'm going to give you 14 players going to have a possibility to go buy out during the next couple of weeks. I'm going to
Yep.
have your impression about each one of them. What do you think they should not? We're going to select your prediction of the winner of the Calder, Hart, Lindsey, Norris, the Vezina. It's tonight in NHL.
Who are the three goalies?
All the trophies for the
Yeah.
reward tonight.
Oh, sorry.
So
Yeah, yeah.
we're
Okay.
going to predict what we're going to do, and then
Great.
we go to final the show with your prediction of the Connie Smythe, the three player on each team until if Dallas win and if Tampa wins. So we have a lot of great stuff to do today. I'm excited. I get your impression for each one we're going to talk today. And let's start with the game number two tonight between um, Tampa and Dallas. What do you think, and what do you think the how they going to respond Dallas or Tampa for game number two?
So I was trying to be objective about this. I think it was really interesting. It was almost like the last game was two games. And the first game, you saw what we kind of predicted would have to happen for Dallas to win. The big fast forwards, creating problems down low, matching up down the middle, and beating the smaller centermen of Tampa. And that happened. There was a little bit of luck, but I think that luck came for a reason. And then the second game, oh, and the deactivating. The D were on Dallas activating, right? And then you saw in the third period, Tampa go into overdrive, and they just took the game over. I mean, they were dominating, but Kudobin held him. So it makes I was trying to be objective and think like, well, I felt for one point like, wow, Tampa's shown us nothing, but that's not true. So it's really going to boil down to you know, Dallas has got forwards, D, and goaltending on high right now. There's nothing in their game that's off. So unless one of those cracks right now, they look like they could win this thing, despite both of our predictions. I think we always look on paper and say that Tampa's better, but maybe they aren't.
You're right. I'll be honest with you. I'm very impressed by you the description of the first game, and I'm going to remind why I said this is because I watched um, John Cooper press conference Saturday night after that. He was pissed off. He was upset because the player did not show up almost the first two period. That was
Yep.
really upset him. Like, how can you be ready? So he said, no, no, no excuse. Whatever it's 4 days, one day, whatever it is,
Here's,
there's no reason we cannot play the level we played the third period.
yep.
So yeah, no reason we can do that. So we have to shoot ourselves. He said after that, we have no reason to a situation with point in the corner. We stop the play game. So it's all about aware and also be smart and have a great mindset of urgency, everything like that. Now the second point, now back on Dallas side, you said, I'm so I'm very happy you bring this. The completely join the rush or they are always expose themselves on the offensive side low, 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 low. And
Yep.
we talk about not only like Kleinberg and Eskinen. We talk about John Henley and we talk about Jimmy Oleksiak, what is called to
Yeah.
goal. And
Yeah.
to win the Stanley Cup, you have to have those support or the second role players behind the big players. So if you don't have those guys showing up and they don't produce on the offensive side, it's a little bit harder. And that's maybe the point on the game right now where the D Dallas is really active, proactive. They follow the forward, everything like that. And then I'm I don't know how he does this. Could have been. He's just not like a
He's-
goalie. For me, he looked like more like a pitcher, starter pitcher, national with a belly. Like you can see his chest protector is like
yeah.
it's
Well,
amazing me. But
he's
he's
like, I swear he's 5'11", 5'10", right? Like he's not a big goalie. But to your point, he's always very square to the puck and he moves well. So when they shoot, and his rebound control is excellent, which is
yep.
bizarre, but um,
And
that
one
part
thing
is
we
really
don't
good.
believe
But he
it.
faces a lot of shots, so
And also one thing I'm impressive. He's more flexible what we thought. You think about the save he make on the right pad one time again. I think it was Killorn. Like this pad get
yeah.
out like amazing. So I think we don't give him enough credit. And
Oh no, I
remember,
mean we've totally slept on him. I mean,
remember, he's still a goal number two in this in the NHL. He never be considered number one. He never been carrying on a team for 3-4 years on his shoulder. So he's really on mission. He's really every playoff you always want players get out and do something you don't expect. And I think he's really the one. Really is amazing. Like you remember like what goalie like Matt Murray, Corey Crawford. You can go with Rash. You can go with Jimmy
yep.
Quick. You can go those goalie year after year when they win the Stanley Cup. You have someone behind is always solid and everything like that. I'm just laughing when I'm thinking about Jean-Sébastien Giguère with Anaheim in 2003, I believe,
He
or
was
something like
great.
that.
He was so good.
You know what I mean? That's the time of could have been until he performed that way. Tampa have to don't don't take it very easy because you're going to struggle more and more. And it's a one game at a time, one player at a time, one shift at a time, and don't expect Dallas to be like the third period. What you see in the third period don't define what Dallas is because the score
Yeah,
was
maybe.
3-1. When you go to see tonight at Dallas, now I not said Tampa is going to respond better at the beginning of the game like versus the game number one, but expect Dallas going to reply and going to skate hard and the physic of their team going to be there, everything like that. Tonight, um, we go back on the lineup. We have no update on the
Stammer.
Ruby Hands from Dallas.
Oh,
So
was he hurt at the end there?
he got a slap shot, block shot some point. He was really bad, but he came back after that. So
He'll
is
be
any
fine.
update like from Dallas, from the coach said he's hurt or whatever it is, or anything like this. All three players regular are still out. Ben Bishop, Fontaine, and Steven. Is it Steven Jones?
Yeah, Steven Johns has had a lot of problems for a
Yeah.
while, right?
So it's a three guy right now out. On the Tampa, honestly, the only one where everybody talk about is Steven Stamkos. Now the
That's
sister
huge.
Stamkos is out for tonight, but
He
he's
is.
yeah, but he's really close and close and close to be back. So expect to see him back every time that. Now pay attention that one we always we talk about this Saturday night when we did the preview game, preview series. We talk about game number 4 and game number 5 is a game back to back. It's really
Hmm.
me what I'm looking for. It's really where I see this tournament momentum is going to shift after that. That's what my prediction is this part over there. Because if you're coming there with a 2-2, that's what is become the game number 5 after a night back to back is going to be very important. I really believe it's an advantage from Tampa.
one thing about it, we saw a very weird thing, which is Vasilevsky, right?
I'm
Like
laughing because
Vasilevsky was so exposed. I was shocked.
I'm laughing because every day you come here and said I'm shocked again about that. Like, we
Well,
always
even
against Islanders,
Vasilevsky,
right?
I know, but it's more like Vasilevsky.
Yes.
Like we saw a chink in that armor, right? Like I got to think he'll be, So then you go like, all right, well he's human.
Yes. But I
But
believe
is the other guy human? I don't know.
on the stat wise, right, back to back game, Vasilevsky has 90.92.9.
Yeah.
Kudubin have 0.999, 909. So back to back game, and the H, and I believe it's I think Vasilevsky have better stat, and I think he's younger. Could help about that one over there. And both team right now cannot put their backup goalie in the net.
No.
Compared to
Well,
Vegas,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Compared to Islanders, Vegas, they don't have
yeah.
anybody. You know what I
They're,
mean?
they're not gonna. No one's gonna do that.
No.
These guys are playing everything unless one of them loses a leg. I mean,
Yes.
they're going all the way. So
So, what do you think about your prediction for the game tonight?
I think Tampa's got to win.
Of course, they have to. They have to win.
I think that they're gonna come out like they did in the third, and they're gonna play really well. And I think Vasilevsky will have, he'll be a little calmer. He was really, I felt, collapsing in the net and exposing the top, and he was deep. So I think he'll make adjustments to that, and he'll be a lot better because he looks small, which is weird. He's a much bigger goalie than the other goalie. I got to think Tampa's going to win tonight.
All right. Final score?
And if not, then then this is over. I think if Dallas wins tonight, this is not going to 6. This is not going to go at all in Tampa's favor. It'll be done.
What's the score?
I think it's going to be a 4-2 game.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to
But
say.
we keep expecting it and not getting it, but it's got to happen. Like,
only
if they
thing I
play
would
like they
say to
did in
you-
the third, like,
The only thing I said to you, I don't think so. It's game over. If Dallas win tonight, you have too many game back after that. I don't think so. It'll be over. But I think right now Tampa is going to be stronger, come back and down. I believe again. I will said this. We don't know how is Brendan Point.
he's hurt and he's
Oh,
too small.
So I
Like
don't know.
he's a focal point.
I don't
They're
know
going
how-
after him. They're like, screw it. This is the guy between me and the cup. Look at what they did.
So my point to you is that we don't know the percentage he is, right? Is it 60,
He's
70,
off.
80, 90, one of the. So that's why for me, it's a big questionable situation for how we predict how the game can go, everything like that. Until Cirelli don't step up. If Cirelli don't step up, it's going to be harder for them to get there. So we'll see. I'll be honest with you. It was my prediction. And we did not talk each other about that. We never talk before we go on the show. What you score was your team, right? But it was really for me 4-2 from Tampa today. So I will stick with 4-2 for Tampa. And we're going to see again. We always run again when we do against Dallas. But I predict a better game tonight. I predict both teams going to be ready. They have both teams wait 48 hours. So 8 p.m. tonight Eastern Time, guys, Hockey Nation fans on NBC, Sportnet, and also CBC in Canada, and in Montreal, Quebec on TV Sports. Mike, I want to finishing with that segment of the Stanley Cup. If
Yep.
Dallas was winning tonight, the Connie Smythe, who is going to be? Give me 3 names rewarding.
3. There's one.
Only one.
It opens the Conn Smythe winner no matter what. How can he not be?
So on the 3 list are Kudobin, Miro Eskinen, and Jimmy Benn. So I agree with you. I think if they win, you still have three more wins to go, and could have been have to be the star of the three game to get there.
They
He's
win.
always
It's
been
him. I mean,
every time they win, he always been a star. We know what Iskinen is amazing. He's already at 22 points. Jimmy Ben play also the
yeah, he's
as
amazing.
general leader, everything like that. You remind me Jimmy Ben a little bit like
You don't
what?
think Pavelski would be over Ben?
No, no,
Maybe.
and
Ben has been very good. That's the one thing. They've had a lot of guys contributing in big ways, right?
Jimmy Ben remind me a little bit what Mark Macy did in '93 for
Yep.
Rangers, right? Not
Yeah.
said he's a kind of. Sometimes always scared that you guys you think I'm comparing players. I'm just remind what
Similar.
happening in the past and remind. And we never said when we compare like oh he's like him, but the way he play right now he's a general like Mark Macy on that
I
one
think
over there. But again, I agree with
I feel
you.
that way about Pavelski.
I don't think so. He's a second play role back. He plays great role, but it does not make a difference like to turn the team or to make that team like is better or they make the what they are. I agree with you. If the Connie Smythe is going to be tonight, is going to be on Kudubin. They have he's one step over Enskinen right now and one step over Jimmy Ben. Now,
Yeah.
if Tampa's win tonight and they have the Connie Smythe, if it's the Stanley Cup was tonight, Tampa win, who will be your players?
Hedman. I think Hedman's probably ahead of everybody. You'd have to give consideration to Point, but that's been a problem. So he probably doesn't get it just because of the injury, and he's kind of been on and off.
Yep.
And you got to think that Vasilevsky's in that discussion, but to me, it's about Hedman.
I agree with you about that one over there. Um, you know, he has a 0.85 point score game per game. He play almost like he play about 28 minutes per game, almost 30 minutes per game.
Crazy.
In general, he already 9 goals, where he have a more goal to any player forward from Tampa right now.
And he's a monster around the net. Like,
He's a really dominate player. He's like, remember those time of Paul Coffey and what I mean, like we can go,
he's
over,
he's a nicer Chris Pronger.
you know. So I really believe
Just the size of it.
he's big, but he really
Big.
what
He's a elegant player though, right? Yeah.
and also 9 of these goals, 4 of them are really clutch goal.
Yeah.
You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So it's not like he score and then you don't. So
No,
I
no,
agree
it's
with you. If tonight it was the Connie Smythe Tampa winning Stanley Cup, I would go with Victor Edmond. The two other players I would put on the with him, it would be Brendan Point and Kucherov. I don't see anybody else around that team could be more to three player right there. Exactly like
yeah, Kucherov has some consideration for sure.
yes, I agree with you. Uh, he has 25 or 26 point, I believe. And, so I think, but again, Edmund will be there. Now, we want to move on the prediction tonight of the NHL at 6:30 p.m. Going to, awards all the trophy, the last five trophies, and NHL. We already know they gave already the coach of the year, the Lady Bank, and what I mean. So they already done. But tonight we have to go with the five last trophy. I'm going to start with the Calder nomination on Calder. When used, is it Dominic Kubalik? Is it Dominic?
Kubalik, yeah.
Is it Dominic? His first name?
Yep.
Okay, and then the third one is Makar, Carl Makar from Colorado. So your prediction of that Calder Trophy? Calder is for the best defenseman. I'm sorry, it's for the best rookie of the NHL for the year.
Man, it's really tough between Quinn and Kale. Like, um, I don't know between those two. It's really tough. Because they were so close to each other, right? Like I kind of think Makar, but it's definitely, it's kind of between those guys. I think Kubalik had an amazing year, but he's a little older and he's very good. But so Makar had, or Quinn had 53 points in 68 games. What did Makar have? He had similar, right? Let's take a look. He had 50 points in 57 games. I'm gonna give my original feeling was Makar. It's very marginal though.
Absolutely agree with you. I have nothing to add more what you said. Makar been, I think the fact he played the year before the last couple of games and then also the playoff, he have a good run. Every time that's maybe advantage a little bit more him, the choice of the people is going to vote
Maybe.
tonight. And then he have a good. I think the playoff side is only looking for the playoff. I think Quinn Hughes have a great start at the beginning, like he did a lot,
Hmm.
like 11 point and 9 game, 8 game. He struggled a little bit more after that, but Makar have a great playoff. I remember the goal he gave, bad turnover.
Yeah, that was. Then he comes. He's. It's interesting because you see a kid's character, and he came back right away, right? And just
Absolutely right
like
with you.
gotta
I
go
agree
back,
with
and he's
you.
just.
But again, I think I would go with your prediction. I would give to Mekar on that one. Now let's go move on to the trophy, the Hart, the trophy Hart. We have three player there. Where I'm surprised for one of the three there. We have
Are you
Leon Trensalt. We have um,
McKinnon and Panarin?
McKinnon, and we have Panarin. Where I don't know about
I
this
don't.
selection. We know what he did for the Rangers. We know the Rangers get better, but I don't think so. He was really like you have other player in this league could have an MVP in consideration compared to him. Honestly, for me, on my point,
Yeah.
he could be like a player from Tampa, could be a one over there. But anyway, what do you predict for the heart of the?
I kind of think it's going to be Draisaitl, but man, I love McKinnon. It's I think McKinnon might get it just because you have McDavid, but McDavid was hurt, and you saw Draisaitl really even with McDavid in, he led the team at that same level. So I thought that was pretty impressive. McKinnon's the best player on his team. Like he's so good. Love
you
him.
know, I go exactly like you just describe what I'm thinking. McKinney is almost like by himself, and we don't want. I don't want to,
I think so.
finish what Leon Destroy do for the does for others. Yeah,
Yeah.
McDavid, but again, he's really a great, better what I think. But it's just like the not the really the public relation, but the publicity McKinnon get because he by himself and the way he does and the
Yeah.
way he play more electric and he was more like flashing players, I believe.
Yeah.
This,
Leon's a weird player, right? Like he's a big body, he can skate and handle the puck, but he's not fancy.
no, so
He doesn't look fit, but but McKinnon's power too, right? It's interesting,
yes,
both of them, but
so I think McKinnon's going to win that one.
I think McKinnon, but
Now let's move on to the that Lindsay. It's a similar trophy like them, like the Hart.
this is the player one.
Yeah. So it's the same three player, Tressal, McKinnon, and Panarin.
Man,
And
I don't know.
on that one, I go again with McKinnon on that one
Yeah.
also. I think he's going to go a double win for him tonight. We'll see what happening. One interesting trophy. I think that's the most difficult one for me for tonight. But again, not difficult because you have Makar Hughes not going to be easy, and then Russell McKinnon. But the Norris, best defenseman in the league, is going to be between Roman Hosey, Victor Edmond, and John Carlson.
Interesting about Carlson, but I think Hedman.
Um, the problem of that one over there is because um, is because the the way the season finish in March and then you go back
Yeah, it's tricky.
on the exactly. So it's a little bit for me difficult to vote on that one over there. But I believe uh, Edmund have a little bit advantage because the situation's going on the playoff right now. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I
But
think
I believe I will. I believe for me,
you think
John Carlson could be the one really.
really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Because I tried to get the goal and I cannot get it. Um,
I don't know why my keyboard's not working, but
60 point for Ozzy. John Carlson have 75 points. Both of them 16 and 15 goals. Do you know who has the most goal and a goal for defensemen?
yeah, Peter Angelo and Yossi
No, have the most goal and NH on this year
this year for D.
for the yep.
Peter Angelo and Yossi
No,
tied.
Zach Werenski,
How many goals does he have?
20.
Did he? Oh, okay. So I thought for some reason I thought that because they both have 18 or 19, right? Let's see.
Yeah. I
Oh,
honestly
did
I don't see
Werenski get 20?
what.
I didn't realize Werenski got 20. For some reason I thought those guys had it.
Petrangelo have 16, yep.
Oh, you're right. So yeah, Yossi had 16. So that's what it was. Yossi and Peter Angelo both had 16,
Yep.
but Werenski, you're saying had 20, which Werenski doesn't surprise me. He can score. He's a real good D
Now
offensively.
during the season, Edmund have only 50 points and only 11 goals and 44 assists. Do you really believe Uzi can get that one?
Roman Yossi?
Yeah.
If you watch him, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I think the problem is that he's in Nashville.
My
He
concern me now is because what Edmund's doing during the playoff. That's only my concern.
they won't even pay attention to that. They've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I think Yossi, if you actually watch him, first of all, it's great he's nominated, but I don't know if enough writers watch him compared to you're going to see a Carlson a lot more, especially on national broadcasts. You're going to see a Hedman a lot more.
So
That's the
who is
only
going to be your prediction?
I think Hedman, but
Okay. I go with Carlson.
Carlson, yeah, you might be right.
I believe on that me,
Yeah,
Edmund finished third.
I don't love John Carlson. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know what it is. I've always felt like there's something not there, but he is great. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He is
You know,
good.
one thing is good between you and me is I'm on the East Coast and you're on the West
Yeah,
Coast. And
right.
you really see more you know, California team and the
Yeah,
Colorado, Arizona, though. And me, I'm
hockey.
always with between Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, New York Rangers. And, you know, I don't say we don't mix, but the fact
No,
we have
totally, I get it.
to spend time, it's helping knowing our players more, everything like that. So, the
I'll tell
last,
you why I love living on the West Coast since I've been here because hockey starts at 4 p.m.
yeah, that's a good thing to do that.
So I can watch it used to be when I lived in Toronto, I could never ever see the West Coast games because they were so late.
It's a tough time to watching those
Tough.
games at 10:30 or everything like that.
So late.
I mean, during the weeknight, it's very hard.
Much better. My life is so much better.
Hockey, of course. This is the last trophy. We're going to talk about this before we jump on the buyout players. It's between three goalie, of course. Alexei Vasilevsky is there. We have Taku Rask, and then we have,
Oh,
he have a great year at Winnipeg, and I think because the team did not do well, like maybe the
Hellebuyck is really good, man.
yes, yes,
That
and
guy's a really good goalie.
yes. So he struggled a little bit the year before. He have a great year
No, he's
the
great,
year
man.
prior, 2 years ago, when the Winnipeg go all almost like all the way. But what will be your selection of that Vezina Trophy?
I would like to see Hellebuck win it because I think that he is a guy that people don't realize how good he is.
Yep.
And they lost Dustin Bufflin. They were forced to make the Trouba trade, although Pionk turned out pretty darn good. Um, I would love to see him win it.
They
I
some
think Vasilevsky had a great year, though. It's tough to
Tyler
say.
Myers out, Jacob
Tyler Myers left.
Grumpa
Like they
out,
and you know
then
what? People Chariot.
then Chariot out. So you talk about the top best four, the five, the six of that team. That's a big
I
news over there. Now, I believe Alexei Vasilevsky is
I
going
think
to
so
win
too.
it. Is that
I believe you. I agree with that. I'm pretty sure he will, but
yeah?
I would
So
love to see Hellebuck get it just because I think people don't realize how good he
yeah,
is.
I agree with you about that one over there. Is that close all the trophy? We already know that Maurice Richard is always the one win the
Goals. Who won it this year? Was it Pasternak
that's a good. Really, what? I'm not sure.
or was it Matthews?
No, I think it was third.
They were all really close, right?
I
I don't
think
know
it was
if
really close about that one over there. I can go right there. Um,
they were all like 46, 47 goals. Did
48.
Ovi get 48?
You have two players, Alexei Ovechkin with
It was.
Pasternak at 48.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. They were all kind of bunched up, right?
Matthews number three, like I said, 47. Then you have Leon Trensalt at 43. Um,
Jesus.
so,
Wow.
um,
And the guy had how many assists? Like 60 something?
you know what? I have to check, be sure. Um, can we check our pick?
For MVP?
I think the heart is going to be Leon Trensalt.
That's what I was saying before. Like he had like 111 points, didn't he?
110
110. Who's done that? Like
and
except for
71 game,
and then how many games did McDavid play?
64, 97,
So he missed a few. Like he missed
7.
like
But you know what? I'll be honest with you. Heart, I go to Leon Trensalt, and the Lindsay, I will go with McKinnon.
McKinnon.
Yeah.
And find out. I honestly, it's tough.
You know what? I
I
apologize.
love
I did
McKinnon.
not.
I love
I never
Drysdale.
thought. I never thought Trensalt passed the 100 points. So for
Oh
me,
yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
he smoked it. He smoked even when McDavid came back,
Yeah.
he was outscoring him.
Yeah. And we need to give credit to Panarin, 95 points with Rangers, 32
Yeah,
goals. So he deserved to be there. I thought me
really.
on that list, I would add Pat Snack, Snack before make Panarin on the heart. That's my,
Really?
oh yeah, David Pastrnak have a great season, 48,
He
47,
did, but he
97,
did.
95 points. Um,
I
yeah.
mean, Boston finished first, but I always feel like that's about Krejci and Chara and well, you know what's disgusting to me is that Tuukka Rask went home. Here the guy is up for the friggin' Vesna, and he bails on his team.
Um, family wise, his daughter's sick, hospital.
He's sick.
His daughter?
I thought she was just new.
No,
Was she
his
sick?
daughter was sick also, got sick, everything
Oh,
like
really?
covered.
Oh, well, that,
I
that
think at the end
explains
of
it.
the day, for Rask, only thing
Yeah,
I would say to everything, it was just a bad timing to do it. If you
bad
don't do
timing.
it
Yeah,
before, like Armonic or other player did it, I have no
yeah.
problem. There's just the timing was bad. At the end of the day, it is
Mhm.
what it is, and you have to give, you know, Take a lot of
But
time to do it.
you could see his head wasn't in it, so I
Yeah.
get it.
So
But it's like crazy. Like you're up for the Vezina, and
I agree with you about that one there. Let's move on with the before we finish with the trade and the rumor. If you tell that, let's move on with players. You have a
buyouts.
buyout, and I want you to your impression. What I want you can tell them about the players, or you can also mention yes or no. And we have 14 players, so you could have more, but I select the 14 player what I thought and I think about this. Let's start with Montreal because honestly, it's my team. Alsner, defenseman. Uh, he still have 2 more years to go.
Oh my God.
4.6 million dollars per year. In, stay or he's out.
Is he even playing hockey anymore?
He played with Laval Rockets for the last 2 years, and he played 4 games this year with Montreal.
He can't skate, and I mean, and that's really caught up to him. This is like a cap thing. It's like they would probably have bought him out, except the structure of that contract.
Yeah.
He was really impacted when the speed, as you've seen, especially the defenseman, has really taken more and more steps, and he just got real slow, real fast because his skating was exposed. So
Because
I think they would normally just buy him out. I mean,
honestly, because I follow a little bit more Montreal and Florida Panthers compared to other teams where I follow
yeah,
everybody, but at the end of the day, I know
yeah,
a little bit more. I have to give him credit. This guy never complaining. He accept
no,
go back and Laval Rocket. He's
yeah,
helping
he
a
loves
lot.
the player.
Coach Joel Bouchard. He bring a lot of leadership for the youngest
Yeah,
one. Um, if he stay there, that's the only reason why Montreal want to give them like it's a lot of money, $4 million to pay in Laval. I understand that part, but what he bring on the table, it's really amazing what he can do. So
he's a quality guy.
yeah,
He's not that old.
32.
He's like 31,
31.
32.
Yeah. So we'll see about him. The next one, really where he's jumping from team to team, is Neil from the Oilers. He has 3 more years as
Who?
5.75.
Who? Oh,
Jimmy.
James Neal?
Yeah. J-
No, I'd keep him if I'm in Edmonton. He played really well at the beginning. He kind of fell off a little bit,
Yep.
but he's shown he can play. He's a big body who can score. He's like a lowercase Jamie Benn. Actually, they started together in Dallas. I was always surprised like that they traded him in that deal.
Now I'm going to surprise you.
You think you would trade? You buy? I would not buy him out. I would keep him.
You know
But
why?
you think you would buy him out?
Why did you put him out, do you think? He saved $6 million. Why? What the reason?
Well, why would they buy him out? The only way you would do it is if you went after another player because they do have
There you go.
salary cap
Who?
problems. Peter Angelo.
Bingo. Bingo. And that's the best move the Oilers right now to do this.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
you have
But don't sleep on how good their D is. But yeah, I think you're right because then you would be able to move Clefbaum if you wanted,
$10
or
million
you
dollars.
could move Larson.
You
You
him
know.
at $10 million per year. Not many
Oh
teams
yeah,
can
totally.
hanging there. You have
If you
Leon
do it,
Draisaitl. You have McDavid over there. You have a strong defenseman play your
they,
28 minute, 20, 30 minutes. You have a quarterback over there, triple over there. They just need to figure out a goalie. Yeah, in the year this year, you have a
so
lot of good goalie on the map. I, for me, this is the deal for the Oilers.
I don't. I mean, I think no matter where Peter Angelo goes, he's going to be he's going to elevate that team significantly. You just mentioned a couple of things. One, the issue with the Oilers for the last number of years before Ken Holland came was the depth of scoring, and Neil fixed that. And it was actually a great transaction because they got rid of Lucic, and then they got an 18-20 goal guy that's
That Ray was good. I have no
impactful. It
problem
was
with
very
that.
good. The D in Edmonton are better than we give them credit for. Ethan Bear stepped up and became a top 4. Darnell Nurse is a top 1 or 2 on most teams. He's really good. Clefbaum has always had injury problems. Larson is what he is. He would normally be a number 4 on most teams, but he can play top pairing minutes. He's a shutdown guy. He's not an offensive guy. You got Bouchard coming. So you've got Bouchard coming, and he's a right shot defenseman with a rocket. He's not an amazing skater, but he played very well in the AHL. So that and then Benning is cheap and underrated. But that being so, I guess what worries me about that is they haven't addressed the goaltending.
What's the
What's
name?
that?
The Chinese guy, Yamato.
Yamamoto on forward is amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not Chinese.
Well, no,
He's
but
from
you know what I mean. Like I remember his
well,
name
the last name is Japanese, but
from
he was a
Ontario.
point of game player, right? So he on forward, he's ready. He's there. He's a point of game guy. That's Johnny Gaudreau 2.0. I mean, he's really good. He came from our league. He played in Spokane and super talented kid. He was just very small, but now it doesn't matter. You watch him, he's awesome. But I don't know if that fixes the depth problem totally. I mean, it gives him a second line. If you believe in Nugent Hopkins as a second line center.
You know, I think James Neal has like he scored like this year. He scored what?
Did he get 20 goals or
No, 19 goals.
19? Yeah.
But he got
He
hurt.
started really hot.
He started hot, and then he got hurt, and then he did not play well after that. I believe
Yeah.
me. You know, I mean, I'm not the manager, but if others can do something great, I think that's the transaction to do for the
And
others.
Neil's getting up there.
You have 19 goals and 13 12 assists. You have 31 point, I believe, and 50.
Yeah. I mean, it boils down to your point. Would Peter Angelo go to Edmonton?
Why
You
not?
might just because he wants to play with two phenomenal players, right? And he would push them to another level. However, they still have the goaltending issue, so they got to deal with that. But they have
Because
cash there for that.
at the free agent UFA are very good right now in NHL. I think they can hang in there to pick up someone and to get that kind of players in return that a
So
goalie.
if they made a deal, would you trade would you trade Bouchard, Evan
No,
Bouchard,
no,
to get Murray?
no, no. Be honest with you, you
I love
get
Evan Bouchard.
Angelo, you give out O'Neill, go get
Yeah,
Colin Crawford for 2 years,
that's the name that I had
four
in kind of my
million
head too.
dollars there. You
He's
have a
been,
guy can hand in there. He's going to have a great. He been there. He know how this works. He's a little bit
yeah,
old. You have a good goalie at $4 million.
yeah, I like that.
It's
What
Canada.
then? What do you keep Larson and Clefbaum?
Yep.
Probably right.
And then you get those little depth, a little bit more physical. Not like Pat Maroon, but that style, the style. You know who's going to get
Yeah,
fit?
they had Pat Maroon. He would scored
You know who
27
you get
goals with
fit there?
McDavid.
Where there? Wayne Simons.
Who?
Wayne Simons.
Oh, Simmons. Yeah.
Yep.
Wayne-
Yep.
Wayne's definitely on the other side, but I love him. Wayne's an amazing guy. Like I
You
call
get
him a
him for
kid because I
about
remember when he was a
$1 million
kid. But
right now. You bring him on the
yeah,
four line. He know his role. He know what he can do.
yeah.
Someone
For
can
cheap,
touch.
he would be
So,
great.
you know, so I think
I
I
agree.
can't wait to go together to go team by team. I'm excited about that one. We're going to finish this like the playoff, and then we move on to that one. Now we got distracted because we love what we're talking about.
Oh, here's my question. Oh, yeah, let's blast through. Here's my question: Is Athanasiou signed?
Who?
Andreas Athanasiou for
No, he is
Edmonton.
on the way to get out.
Bye, buddy.
So that's the way to get out right now. The others let it go. Move on.
See ya.
Henrik Lundqvist,
Is he got a contract to buy out?
1 year to go with 8.5.
I think he's just going to retire.
I believe he's going to be buy out, and I think at that
Maybe.
money he would be better to go back in Europe or play somewhere Sweden league or whatever it is. And finally, is why he want to come back to his
Maybe.
country
He's
and play.
getting up there, right? He can
Another
still play.
defenseman, um, Mata from the Blackhawks, Oli Mata.
Oh, Oli Mata?
Yeah,
What's his contract at?
two years, 4.08 million.
Is he that bad?
I don't
That's a
think
cheap
so. I
contract.
think
I
it's
think he's
I
pretty
think
good. I would keep him.
yeah, I would keep him. The next one, um, Flowers, my country Fleury, 2 years, $7 million.
They trade him to Edmonton and they retain cash.
That may be the only thing they can do others, honestly, if they sign Pietrangelo. But Fleury, all depends what Lerner is going to go. That will be the decision whether he keep him or not, honestly, if Lerner is signed with Vegas or not. The next one with
How many years are left on
two
Flurry?
years, 7 millions.
2 times 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be bought out.
Louis Erickson, Vancouver, two
Oh,
years,
you gotta buy that guy out.
6 million. I agree with you. Out
A
for
buyout.
I always a difficult time. Zev Berchi from Vancouver.
Sven
Bear,
Berchi.
yeah, 1 year only, 3.37 million. I think at 3 bid.
Just ride it out.
Yeah, I agree with you. Nashville, Kyle Turris,
Oh my God. How many years left on that contract?
4 million. 4 years at $6 million.
Yeah, that's a buy. And is the structure beneficial if they buy him out? I wonder what they save.
They can what they can say, but the problem with Torres is still he's not too old. The kid is about 29, 30, I think now.
Something's up there because he's like either he's way worse than we realize, or he's just gotten bad because
You have a bad
he's
year.
not good.
Yeah, you have a good year the year
More
before.
than one.
3 years
He's been
before.
bad.
What was good about that one.
Yeah,
Then
but
let's go back with you, Detroit, your team, Justin.
everybody,
Justin,
Abdicator's gotta go. 0 goals in 60 games, gotta go. That contract's disgusting.
three 3 years at 4.25 million.
Yeah, that's gotta go.
Yeah,
Nielsen, Franz Nielsen, that's gotta go.
that's another
You make
one.
a decision on Helm.
The Highlanders players. That's another one there too. Talking about the Panthers, where they signed him only last year for a contract 3 years, but he gave him $5.5 million still 2 years to go. Anton Stralman. Um,
It's a million more than I would like, but he is very good. But
yeah, he's the first number 3 and 4 for Panthers. They
yeah,
can
if he was 4 million, he would look a lot better.
Yes, if they can hang in there for one more year, because Uberdo, Pargov, and those guys are still at 5.5, they
Yeah.
can hang in here for 1 year. But is a player is going to be buy out maybe next year. Kyle Okposo from Buffalo, another bad
He's
contract, 3
six
years,
mil.
6 millions. That's a bad
Yeah.
one over there. Still one more year to go with David Backes with Anaheim Ducks.
Really?
6 years, $6 million. I think,
One more.
yeah, I think
Might
that's.
as well buy it out. So
Then we'll
then,
go
if
to
you,
finish
I
it.
guess it depends on the structure, but
I think the last one, I think it's so. It's just because he did not play on the system with Boston Bruins. John Moore, 3 years, 2.25.
he could be, but it's not a priority. I mean,
I think,
he can still play, can he? Is he
yes. So
hurt?
my point to you, he can fit on other teams. Boston is
Yeah.
depth, a lot of
It's
defensemen.
so good.
But I think for defense 5 and 6 at 2.25, he can play a good role for different teams
They'll trade him.
at that part of it. So that was the list of the 14 players buy out for that one over there.
And
I'm going to,
Detroit better not sign Howard. Detroit better not sign Jimmy
well,
Howard.
talking about that, I'm
Do
going to
not sign
finish with a
him.
trade. Rumor is 49 right now. We talk about Sven's situation left and right. Gary Bettman and is it Daly? What's the first name? Daly for the
Bill
NHL.
Daly.
Yeah. So they mentioned there's still potential to play 82 games. They're still looking for that one over there. Late December, January will be the beginning of the year under 2020. It was repeatedly mentioned by Gary Bettman and John Daly yesterday about that one over there. Let's move on with something what's going on left and right in the NHL. It's yes, you are going to be happy. Jimmy Howard unlikely going to be returned with with the Detroit Red Wings
Who are-
next season.
What? No.
Unlikely not return with
Oh
the
yeah, he ain't going back. He had 2 wins.
so
That guy's been we've had a 10-year experiment with a guy whose numbers look good, but you can see routinely loses leads.
as a matter of fact, I just want to shifting this. It's not like returning. It's more about resign with Detroit.
Yeah, they shouldn't. If they re-sign him, they're insane.
He
He was
believes he does not. Also, he does not think he does not want to retire. He
he
believes
doesn't. That guy's got guts. I mean, he's
I think he could be a great backup goalie somewhere.
yeah. I you know what? One thing about Jimmy Hart, he works hard.
Yes.
He's he trains very hard. He's technically reasonably good. He should never have been a 55 game guy, in my opinion. And he can play a lot. He's shown that. Last year, Detroit was purposely stripped down of a bunch of guys, and they'll be further stripped down this year. I feel like Detroit will still bury some of their young guys until after the expansion draft, but maybe I'm wrong. Hope not, but yeah, it might make sense.
Now let's move on with
He's
Montreal.
done, man. I don't know. He had no support, but at the same time, he's not the goalie you want. Get a big goalie that can play, man.
Yep. Let's move on with Montreal. The situation with the like many players in NCAA because the season was got pushed.
Oh,
Um,
Caulfield.
so Cole Caulfield was maybe loaned to go to European team, sign with you maybe signing with Montreal and then move on to the teams called Roggle, Rogle. Yep.
Yeah, they were the Oilers and the olden Oilers. It's the the Oilers.
So destination to be there for the Switzerland League. Talking about
Wait, Swiss or
something I want you
Sweden?
to think about to talk more about this kid. Um, I don't know what happening with this one. Maybe you can tell me more. Josh O. Sank did not sign any contract for 2021 yet. Tell me more about this kid. Where he was, I think he was draft high by the Islanders.
Highly talented, individualistic player.
Okay.
He's always had a real maturity problem. He played for the Toronto Marlies. On that Toronto Marlies team, there was always this talk of who's better, him or McDavid, because McDavid played a year up with that age group. He played with the 96s. Um, for me, whenever I watched him from the time he's 13, 14, 15, I never liked the way he played because it was all about his moves and speed, and he didn't, to me, move the puck. And then when he got to the OHL, he had various problems. He had problems in the NHL sleeping in and missing practices, and they threw his ass back, right? So he's always had a discipline problem. I don't think he's a bad person, but he's just kind of an immature kid. And he's not that young anymore. Like he's like what, 24? So he had a lot of talent, but he's just a little bit odd that way. He reminds me of Robbie Schremp.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too. Um, Last rumor, and I want to finish this because that's the one we talked about the situation with the Oilers a little bit prior, earlier. Matt Martin is a UFA.
You
So
think to the Oilers?
I think Matt Martin can interest many teams in
Probably.
NHL, and I
He
think he
can
can
skate
get.
reasonably well. He's a big, mean guy, but he doesn't take crazy penalties, and he can beat people up if he has to. And he
I
can score a
think
little bit.
I think he scored 5 goals, 4 or 5 goals in playoff.
Yeah.
So I believe he can get about 2.5 to $3 million. Maybe 3 million could be, you know,
It's tough
much.
because he's going to play fourth line, right? In the end, he's a fourth line player. And
So
he has a very special role where, like, he was in Toronto. I thought he was pretty effective. He's a leadership guy. He
yep,
was, he was a good mentor for Mitch Marner, which is strange because, like, he's not the same type of player, but I think they were kind of buddies. So he's got, I don't know, man. I got to see Lou re-signing him, but someone might, to your point, say, hey, here's $3 million, and he would jump at it.
I believe he's first of all he's always be close with Lamariello. He's always be a tighter
Oh, yeah.
love. He bring him in Toronto, and then he move
Yep.
out. He bring him over there. That's the reason
Yep.
why Lamariello bring Komarov. with
Totally.
with Islanders because he's been there with it. So he's still maybe stay with Islanders. I
Yeah.
believe another team is looking for is the New York Rangers. Are really looking for that because Rangers under that have Michael Henley and also Cody McLeod, and I think it's better to both of them by
Do
mile.
not go there.
So that's
You
already
like a
another team.
trade?
So many team who is going to look for Matt Martin. What
Maybe.
because if roll inside of one team, everything like that. So there'll be
I agree. I think he could fit nicely, but someone if someone gets him those rates, they're overpaying.
so we're almost at the end of the show. Let's move on back again to resume the show, and then I want to
Oh, I was
announce
going to mention
everybody.
one thing
Yep.
before I forget. So, did you see Connor Bedard is getting loaned out to a Swedish team?
Really? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I think Regina is letting him go. I don't know if they're going to let him play, but he's definitely going to practice. So, because of the uncertainty in our league in the WHL, like we don't know what the hell's going on. Um, we're still kind of struggling through it. Unlike Quebec, we're not getting, government support to play. So we need fans in the seats. And he was the first overall, exceptional player.
Yep.
He's in Sweden right now, apparently.
Wow, that's a big news because he's a great hockey player. Maybe one of the top best in the next couple of
For
years.
his age, he's like the best 14-year-old or 15-year-old in the world, but he's an 05, right? He's really very talented. He's not big, but he'll be a good player. He's going to be a very good player. He's not, I don't know. I
Austin
think there's
Matthews
all,
was not big at 14.
who?
Austin Matthews, he was not big.
At 14?
No,
We drafted him.
he was
He was pretty
tall. He
big.
was not big. What
He was pretty big, man.
no, I'll be honest with you. Go to watch the on YouTube Austin Matthews with a NTP.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
pretty big. He
and
was like 5'10" when we drafted
then
him.
6 months later, he got big like a man. After that, after six
Yeah,
months with the
yeah.
team national team. So
Like we drafted him in Everett, and he was not small.
yeah, I know.
He was always you can see he was gonna be big. Bedard's not gonna be big.
Let's finishing with your prediction, and I think we are all both agree for prediction tonight to game 8 o'clock. Game number 2 between Dallas and Tampa. We predict a victory for Tampa 4-2 tonight. We all both agree about this. We want to announce
So
this.
nervous about.
I know that, right?
I
All
don't have
the
any.
Hockey Nation fans, don't forget to subscribe on Facebook and also on Instagram and also on YouTube channel under Hockey Nation Live or Hockey Nation Live Show. You can find out the recording every day what we're doing online. Finally, we want to mention everybody we're going to go for before the end of the weeks. We're going to go to our mock 1.0 on the NHL draft picks. I'm working on that. Michael is the guy who knows many players, going to give him all an impression. He's going to maybe pick some picks on each pick for each team, and we're going to go through this week about that one over there. There's going to be a special preview day, so it may be the go where it's a preview game, like maybe between game number 3 or 4, where we have nothing to resume the game, honestly. So that would be something that we have to maybe to do for the mock and the draft 2020. It's going to be online October 6th and October 7th, round number 2 to 7. And remember, UFA is going to be October 9th. We're going to have a special edition, Michael, October 8th to predict the UFA and all the players going to go. And we're going to have a special edition, one October 9th, because at 12 o'clock, it's become a freaky, crazy day. Everybody signing the first 10, 15 minutes. Everybody goes left to right. So thanks again, Michael, for being with us today with our
Thank you.
Hockey Nation fan. Have a great, be ready for the game number 2 tonight. Have an amazing Monday. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a great one, everybody.
Thank you.